talk about what went down, on Tuesday evening. What do you think went wrong for Nigeria in both matches, Senegal and then Sudan? After Senegal, Eric Chell did say that it's going to be it's the game of their lives. They were going to give out their all, but it didn't seem like that on the field of play, and it ended in a scandalous defeat to Sudan.
That game, the result of the second game against Sudan, encapsulates what I would like to describe as the house of cards that fell badly at the end of the day. It started from the decision from administrative and, of course, the performance on the pitch sort of complemented that poor decision. And then the first, that has to do with coaching decisions, allowing Eric Chell putting pressure on him to be a part of this team, where he could have been an observer from the stands, because the end game according to the NFF, was to get him to know more of the players and help transition to the full team. And then, of course, to the choice of player positioning, a lot of people have misdiagnosed what really went wrong with that team, and that's problematic. And if we do not diagnose it properly, we will go on having this problem over and over again. Anytime we have a change of coaches or playing the channel, anytime we qualify. Some of those players were played out of position, from Tochukwu to Adedayo, to a team with wingers. He put the actual wingers on the bench, and of course featured non-wingers in the game. He had Aliu Sikiu Alimi basically struggling all through the game and basically strapping all through before he was eventually moved. So everything was wrong in that game. Then you have a young star, one of the top defenders in the league, who lost confidence after that first error against Senegal in the opening game, scored an own goal, and the coach was not practical enough to be able to identify that this is a young man who will need all the arms around his neck, and remove him from that game to help save him a bit. He left him longer on the pitch. He committed unforced foul. He had a Nigerian player in front of him. A fellow player jumped over him, and his hand still touched the ball under no pressure from anyone. That tells you that young man's confidence has been shattered. So it's strictly an house of cards. He promised the game of their life, but you are playing a formation that is affecting the life of some of these players.
All right, let me come to our special correspondent right there in Zanzibar, Christopher Emenyonu joins us this afternoon. Christopher, welcome. Thank you very much. It was not a good day for you, witnessing, another defeat again, hoping that it was going to be a win. But let's look at this. Do you think that Nigeria's early CHAN exit reflects deeper issues in the technical and team's planning and preparation? Some are saying, yes, they were camping in Ikene, but they didn't have the very best of games going into the tournament. Some are also saying Eric Chell should have been allowed to rest, and then the local coaches tinker decide for the tournament. Where did we get it wrong for the squad?
Well, for me, I think the part of where Eric Chell should have started this out is where I will pick it from. I feel he doesn't know the league, he doesn't know these players, he doesn't understand what it feels like to be playing in the MPFL, and he's just coming into the fold and taking 23 players to a tournament that he doesn't understand so much. I think that's where we all got it wrong. I think the NFF got this one wrong. I remember in 2018, where Janet Raw came in, he didn't lead the team to CHAN in Morocco. Salisu Yusuf was the coach that led the team to Morocco, and they did very well, finishing with the medal in it. And this time around, you expect the same thing from NFF and Eric Chell. To go out there and say, okay, the two coaches that led the team in the qualifiers, and Remo Stars, Stele Day, and Delis Lechiku of Rangers should have been the one to lead this team here. They understand these players. They know how these players breathe in and out. They understand the league, understand what it feels like to play on the continent as Africans. So I feel like they should have been the one to lead this team out here. And probably we will not be in this position that we are at this moment if those two had been the one that coached this team to CHAN 2024.
Enitan, I think it's quite clear that we've got issues regarding the coaching. I think everyone has made that clear. But then again, let's talk about his selections as well. Many will argue that the best players that were informed from the previous NPFL season were not even given a chance. Someone like Shola Adelani of Ikorodu City, Junior Ondeka, it seems like some really good players were left on the bench. Do you think this is down to Eric Shell not having proper knowledge of the NPFL, or just strictly down to his preferences in terms of the way he wants the Super Eagles B to play?
You have to understand that while I was discussing this with someone, I think coaches live and die by their ideas. And this is one of such scenarios where Eric Chell is trying to die by his ideas. He's playing a diamond formation. Most of these players are not used to this system. You are playing a system where some of your best wingers, best attackers are on the bench coming out of the league. He did carry most of the players in that squad are some of the best in the league, if not the best. But it is not about taking just the best. It is how you utilize these players that counts the most. And that's where Richard got it wrong. Like I mentioned earlier, he played the Tochiko playing for Ramos does not play as a fully GM. Adedayo, one of the the best player in the whole Ramos system and his position, arguably in the league, was played out of position. So that tells you how this player has to mentally remind themselves not to be out of position in this newfound formation. So overall, this affects how the player deliver and the quality of what they deliver. Having an impressive and even play the left fullback, Harrison Zondu, Ikodu City was one of the best in that position with high level of assist. We saw when he came in against Senegal, our chances to create expected goals increased when he came onto the pitch, and we could easily see. But the coach had to rush Taiwo Rafiu back into the team for the second game, despite the fact that he picked up. So that questions a lot.
All right. Okay, I think we lost connection with Enitan. But let me come to Chris before we leave. Chris, I know you must have seen the tweet that was made by former NPFL player of Enyimba, that's Brownie Day, who's also a former ex-international, about the state of the league. I mean the players. Do you agree with this tweet? Do you think that it's about what we don't have in the league, or a case of like what Enitan has said, the coaching aspect? Do you agree with Brownie Day?
It's funny where everyone just keeps saying, "Oh, it is the league, it is the league." We lost to Senegal. The Senegalese league, no club from Senegalese league has won the Champions League or the Confederation Cup before. No club in the Sudanese league that has not even played in the past 1.5 years have won the Champions League or Confederation Cup in recent times. So it's not really about the league. It's about you managing the resources that you have at the moment. Like I said, the Sudanese league have not been in play for the past 1.5 years. The only two teams that are playing in another country are the players that are in this particular tournament, coached by a Ghanaian. He understands the situation of these players. He knows how to manage these players, and that's why they are doing very well in this tournament. I think for Chell, his rigidity, his stubbornness has led us here. He wanted to play that 4-4-2 diamond that he wants to play in his head, and wants to play it on the pitch as well. I really do feel if he had gone with what these players are familiar with, probably a 4-4-2 flat formation, or a 4-3-3 formation, or a 3-4-3 formation, and these players are used to in the MPFL, probably they will have done better than what we have right now. But it's what it is. We can also see that in Super Eagles, some players are struggling. I don't know why looks like he's struggling with the formation Chell is playing. You're giving Chukwueze a few roaming around the pitch. Some players are also struggling in the normal Super Eagles team. So I think it's high time Chell sits down and asks himself questions. Okay. Can I really do well with Super Eagles with this formation? If not, we'll keep struggling and keep getting bad results, both with Super Eagles B or the main Super Eagles.
All right, I must say a big thank you to gentlemen, Enitan Obadina for your quality time, and Christopher Emenyonu for your time. Chris, you have many days now to sightsee. I mean, what's left? Well, thank you very much, guys, for joining.
Thank you for having me.